everybody. Welcome back to Shock Talkin'. We are here with Camille and special guest. If you are wondering, is that Bob Kittell? You're absolutely right.
We're lucky today.
Bob has been speaking all over the world to all kinds of people, and now you're right here with us. What an honor.
Oh, well, thank you. So for the five of you that would call who I am.
Yeah, well,
Kind of a big darn deal. Tony Robbins.
yeah.
Yep.
Who else you hanging out with? Tony?
I know. Joel.
Well, I go to events
Joel
with them. Yeah.
Osteen.
No, you don't. You're actually on stage and
Well,
stuff.
I am. I'm on stage.
Yeah.
I tell both my jokes.
Yeah.
We might tell them today.
Whatever. Go to his website. You can check it out.
It's a
Yeah.
big deal.
So Bob and I met. Actually, this is the first time we've met face to face. We had a mutual friend, and we've been kind of working together on some corporate stuff in that arena. And you went on our podcast, and were you shocked with our talking? Get it?
It was a very interesting experience.
Oh, wow.
Well, you learned all about menopause.
Menopause.
I learned more in that one session than in my entire life up to that point.
I'm here to report back, friends. I don't stink anymore.
I'm relieved. I'm so glad.
I got out of the shower for the last week, and I did the sniff, and I'm like, I'm good to go. And I'm not on my period. So,
This is going to be an interesting experience, I can already tell.
We already want Joel back. So.
Camille, maybe there's some therapy needing.
Like for you.
Perhaps 30 years in TV of having to be like,
I think she's a little
I'm
expressive.
like on a roll.
No, you were self-expressive. Like you're going, I'm no longer going to be told how to be or how to act. You were just saying it all. This whole shock talk, I think she has taken it to a whole new level. I don't know that I've ever been, I'm stinking. Like you have got this.
You know what? It's all about being real, right, Todd? Because are you not mic'd? Oh, Todd's not
well.
mic'd.
Todd,
Todd's lost his
well, I
voice.
look shocked most of the time in this. So this
Yeah.
is what it looks like to be listening to this program, but on the program.
But you're here. Yeah, you're here. And so when you were listening to menopause, were you taking notes at all?
Oh, transcript, yeah, send it out to all my kids,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's what's wrong
Spread
with
the word.
women.
This is what's going
And,
on. Good. I'm glad you listened.
I have two daughters now. I understand life a little bit better than I did.
Well, we might be over 21 age, right? We're hoping because we are a little,
One is.
wow. Well,
Oh, it is.
The other one's very mature for her age, though.
okay, good. So
Yeah.
she can handle us.
We don't
Okay,
need to
good.
apologize.
I'd never apologize usually. So.
Yeah.
She actually came in one day and said, "Dad, you know what I learned?" I said, "What's that?" "I'm not responsible for making other people happy."
Oh,
I go, "You learned that at 18? I didn't learn that till I was 50.
smart girl.
I know.
That's right.
I know.
It's a kind of impossible.
I feel like y'all could just kind of go on your own tangent
Yeah.
talk, and I could just sit back and take some notes.
Well, we do have we have similar philosophies, about being present, listening, kind of observing and making things as they are. Because we're making meaning machines, right, Bob?
Yes,
Yeah.
whatever you said.
Right. He's got.
Let me catch up here. Okay, go ahead.
Well,
I'm going to pay attention.
before we started this podcast, we were talking about like what your kind of theories are, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. And so,
loving what is.
yeah.
Oh, Byron Katie has a book called Loving What Is.
Byron Katie's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it basically is when people stop resisting their life. So we live our life in resistance mode, and whatever you're resisting will persist. So that's where all of our pain usually comes from. And when you see things as it is, then that's the truth of it, not the story you made up around it. The story is where our pain is, by the way.
Until the pain goes away one day.
Exactly.
Yeah. Did you know the pain can go away? I didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once you recreate it fully, it goes away. Once you quit resisting it, it goes away. And you quit
So
making it mean
do
something.
not listen to this Jerry Springer or any other crazy talk show like that, or you won't have a job
Well,
after these two.
They're salacious. That's the nature of their beast. They want everybody to get out there and go crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, have you ever heard of drag toe?
No, I haven't.
What? Okay, it's a real thing.
Here we
and
go.
I had it.
Drag toe?
Drag toe. Look,
Oh, let's just let Camille explain, Bob. Go ahead, Camille.
no.
Hey, have you ever been concerned with your pseudostratified ciliated column epithelial?
I have no idea where that's at.
Well, that's what I'm talking about, drag toe, so go on.
Okay, so drag toe is typically found in athletes. And I'm not an athlete, and I'm not a big skier anymore. Since I had kids, I quit skiing. But when your ski boot's too tight and it pinches your toes, okay, it pinches that big toe. And so it kind of creates nerve pain all the way up to your hip. And so they call it drag toe. Have you ever heard of that?
I haven't.
Shut.
But this is an illustration of it.
So So when I was working out, no, I had tennis shoes that were too tight. And it pinched my big toe. And I had a bruised big toe on my left foot. And I had a sciatic owie. So it was because that toe was just from one pinch of the toe. You need to have good, good running shoes. And I figured it out. I got my Brooks now.
Do you know you were all over the place? First of all, what does a ski boot have to do with anything? Because it could pinch your toe.
No, the doctor.
Have you ever heard of the word segue? Segue. We're talking about this, and all of a sudden we're dragged to.
Gretchen does not know how to not segue, and I'm good at keeping up. I'm just like, I'm tracking now. I'm tracking now.
Camille doesn't need to work out.
Though.
She is mentally
I have drag toe and whiplash for being around Gretchen.
I'm just here to clear it up, Bob. We let Camille believe that there's a thing called drag toe. We just let her think that medically it's actually in a journal somewhere.
Can anybody out there who's had drag toe please call me?
Please
just
do.
Please validate that I am not making this
and
up.
see how it relates to the pseudostratified ciliated columnar epithelia of the lung.
Of the lung?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's actually lung tissue. I just wanted to appear smart for a moment, keep up with your drag toe.
Thank you. I wonder what the common term for that is.
There is no common term.
Well, I know it's a real thing, Gretchen. It's a real term, and an orthopedic surgeon told me I had drag toe. I know.
And you're proud of that term.
No, I'm not. It's not.
I'm really much more comfortable her talking about this than what we were talking about earlier.
I mean, her smelly pits.
I know.
Okay,
Or her period. Okay,
I'm
great.
good. Hey, I got me a date now. I'm good.
Jesus.
Okay, I can't go on without hitting this important topic. Last night was Monday night.
Yeah.
And I caught a little bit of The Bachelor.
Oh.
Just a little bit. I couldn't take it. But here's what I know. One of the chicks that's on there's two chicks that one's from Orem.
Utah.
And the other one, get this, she competed against Bailey last year at Miss Utah. And the year before she competed, I judged her, and her mom came up to me and accused me of being racist because I didn't vote for her. Did y'all hear this? 911!
Sorry. We haven't soundproofed my office yet.
And then I see her last night, but do you ever watch The Bachelor?
No. That's why I'm pretty
Todd's
even keel now.
either. Yeah, Todd's good.
I know, but here's the...
There's studies that have been done on people who watch that, but go on.
I know.
Gretchen.
I don't think it has anything to do with column
But here's I learned.
or building your relationship with someone else.
Right.
And
There's not much to learn.
that's what we talk about is,
Yeah.
first of all, Ari, you are disgusting because in normal life, first of all, here's what needs to happen. You don't need to go to Chekarama. You need to go on a real date. Not to Tahoe.
Chokorama is a real thing.
Well, I'm just saying, like nothing that's all staged.
I'm with you.
You
Not an
know?
elephant under the waterfall. I'd fall in
No.
love with anybody I'm with on an elephant. Really? I think I would.
Last time
I'd probably fall in love with the
I
elephant.
know.
I used to go on introductory motorcycle rides.
With women?
Yeah, when I was in college.
Really?
I'd say, hey, would you like to go on an introductory motorcycle ride? And
Yeah.
she goes, well, I don't even know you. What better way to get to know someone than to go on an introductory motorcycle ride? And I'll give you a cookie. And usually at the cookie, people wanted to go.
That was creepy, the cookie part though.
Not back then. This was back in the old days.
Yeah, right. The olden days.
The older so
Introductory means like just there's like you're selling a
first date?
motorcycle or introduction.
Yeah, just to meet.
like get to know.
Yeah, like a meet and greet.
Just have a fun.
Like speed date on a motorcycle.
Here's how the Bachelor meet and greets. You know, let's just break it down. Because you have the house full of psychotic women, Todd, you may have dated a few of those, that are peering out the window, watching Ari make out with every person that goes and grabs him for 10 minutes to get to know him better. Now, in real life, I just want to know if you were going out with a guy and you saw him making out with, the word again, plethora,
Plethora.
big Texas word.
Yeah.
Would you go out with that guy again?
No.
No.
That's typically not popular. Men, you don't want to be, and then I don't want to be getting sloppy seconds.
Well, yeah.
That's kind of me. I don't like.
You know what?
That's why I'm looking for someone who's never kissed anyone at this point.
No, like all my girlfriends, he's made out with all the girls I just met there, and I'm gonna have friends there. I mean, I would
gotcha.
think I would, right?
Well, there's another point because you look at the chicks that are kind of in the holding pattern. You know, they haven't had
And
their
they hate each
date.
other?
No, they're like petting each other and loving on each other, and I'm thinking there's going to come a time
Oh, dear.
when y'all are going to turn on each other.
Or they're gonna have a different kind of show. Just wonder.
Todd, God, I know you're not mic'd. Are you following Camille? I don't know what drugs she's on.
Oh, well.
We all know that her purse
Leave
is
my
full
purse.
of corrective enzymes.
So, going to just a little
Yeah,
bit
yeah.
more of an even keel on this. I heard somebody say the worst words ever said in a romantic movie
Not on our
was,
podcast, right?
"You
When?
complete me."
Oh, right? Oh,
Yeah.
my God,
no,
right?
you got to complete yourself. Find somebody else who's complete, and then you get together.
Right.
If you think somebody else is going to complete you, you just set them up for failure.
Absolutely. Well, it's the most codependent statement on the planet, right?
Yeah.
It's like
What does
you.
codependent mean? Okay.
It's kind of like drag toe.
Okay. Go on.
It's on the same
Yes, it's
lines as drag
codependency.
toe.
Oh, my God.
Okay.
Well, and that doesn't work. It doesn't work. And we Utahns, no offense to the state, but we get married a little bit too early in this state as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, me too.
And we create codependent relationships. A lot of the premarital counseling I do with kids that are getting married here is, y'all don't know yourselves yet. How are you going to be able to take care of each other or manage your emotional stuff? It gets crazy, and then they have children on top of that, right?
Oh, got another one for you.
What?
When you're la la land in love,
Yeah.
the blood leaves the frontal cortex and you can't make a rational decision.
I believe that.
And then
Totally believe that.
the blood comes back after you get married and
And you go,
what have I
I
done?
Yeah.
You did this too. Oh, didn't happen.
We don't want to talk about
That's why the
Gretchen's-
slogan, what happened in Vegas, state, because the blood left and then it came back. Britney Spears getting married on a whim, along
shaving
with
your
1,000
cute
other.
head and going
I
bald
know.
for a minute.
Camille and I actually, Bob, we talk about this a lot, and
Yeah.
that when people are depending on another human to make them happy,
Yeah.
God will always be let down.
Oh, yeah.
Always.
Well, there is no reality around make me happy. You got to make yourself happy. And I tell men especially, the biggest myth on the planet is you could make her happy. You can't make any woman happy. Men can't.
You guys, yeah.
They just can't.
yeah.
Here we
no
go.
matter what you do, there's
Well-
the next thing, and you try. I did. I tried, and then one day I heard that the oh, Bob, you
The
can't
truth.
make someone else happy.
Yeah.
And nobody can make you happy. And I went, oh.
What,
Oh.
you didn't have cancer and I was in chemo and radiation for nothing?
Yeah.
No, we misdiagnosed that. But men, look, you're designed to kind of want to be a hero, right? And save that damsel in distress and put your coat down over that mud puddle and let her walk on it, pick up her hanky. I was raised with cowboy shows like that, weren't you? Didn't you watch John Wayne when you were younger? But that's kind of what they're trained to do, is kind of be your hero. So
Do you think nowadays guys are?
I think alpha males really still want to be needed and valued like that. I think men still want to be valuable to a female. Absolutely.
Well, yeah, but I mean, do you really think that? I just wonder nowadays, are guys being groomed to really take care of the woman like
No,
that?
no,
I don't
not at
think
all. In
so.
fact, I think the stereotype alpha male is kind of, on the extinction list as far as I'm concerned. Most men nowadays, some women make more money and they're okay with it. And I don't care. I mean, to me,
Right.
it's whatever works for people. I'm kind of
Right.
a masculine gal anyway. I make my own money. I work myself as a farm girl.
Here we go with farm animals again, guys. I just want to apologize.
Farm animals.
It's a segue.
Bye.
We had
Talking about
orchards.
Orem,
No, Santa
talking
Claus.
about cherries on the
We had
tractor
cherries
seat.
and apples. I'm a fruit orchard daughter, okay?
Drag
So,
toe.
had drag toe. What were we talking about? So,
No, because you know what? I mean, one of the things, and being from the South, when my boys were little, I insisted they open the door for me and
Yep.
their sisters.
Yep.
And there were plenty of people, adults, that were like, I can do my own door. And I
Yeah.
thought, God, he's just a child. Let him learn.
Yeah.
Nowadays, and they're older, and we were just at Wingers the other night having dinner, and Cutler's opening the door and letting the whole family out. And there was a woman there going, wow, you never see that. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, well, then let's get it going.
Yeah.
How easy is that? But in Cutler's mind, in my boy's mind now, that's just automatic. That's just automatic.
good.
And then I had to teach my girls, let them do it.
right.
I have one daughter's like, I can do it myself. Well, of course we can. We all can. But there's a reason why that happens.
So I grew up in Buffalo, New York. I go out to school out here, and my first girlfriend's from Louisiana. I jump out of the car, and I'm in the door, and I'm going, where is she? So I went back, and I went, are you okay? And she's just sitting there, and I opened up
Fuming.
the door. She goes, you open the door for a lady.
Oh.
So she trained me, right? So I go back to Buffalo, and I go out with a girl that I know back in Buffalo, and I go to open her door. She goes, what do you think? I got a broken arm? I can open my own door. I'm going, I just don't know what to do. So I asked my mom. I says, Ma, I don't understand girls. And she goes, let me explain it to you. She wrote this to me in a letter. When they say yes, they mean no, and when they say no, they mean yes. But sometimes when they say yes, they mean it. And sometimes you better watch out when they say no and they mean it. And she goes, clear as mud, isn't it? So I learned a lot from my mother.
Your mom's right. Well, and one thing about women is this: they commiserate. Okay, women typically, if they don't have something to gripe about and complain about, they don't trust each other. So women meet and they kind of always like, well, what's wrong with her?
We're getting back to The Bachelor. We're getting back to the holding pattern of those chicks in there.
Yeah, because they want to. It's like Mexican crabs. You ever seen these things and they're in a bowl?
Yeah.
None of them can get out. They're in open air and they all get to the top of the bowl and the other one grabs it and brings it back down. Mexican crabs will never get out of that bowl.
So can I ask a
Yeah.
question?
Like, where are we going?
We're talking about complaining, right? Isn't
Right.
complaining being a victim?
Absolutely.
Somebody said if you don't like what's going on,
Yeah,
change it, leave it, or accept it.
I agree with that.
Then how come they're doing that?
I think because that is truly I think it's a way of belonging. I have problems too.
Are we talking about crabs or people?
people?
Some people are crabs.
Women. Same thing, right?
Crabby.
Women. But I think women do actually commiserate with their their cycles or their pain. It is it's codependency with that, right? But that's kind of how people do things, and it's a layer of we're all kind of human. I think it kind of creates a bond there, but it's also a trick. I think it is a competitive way for women to kind of find out their weakness, and then they can kind of one up each other.
Well, if you look
Women can be mean, y'all, really mean. True. Yeah.
but that's the
I'm
point.
working with Gretchen on this. She's been a lot nicer.
Thanks, Kittell.
That happened right in front of me.
Yeah, Todd's like, work harder. Well, I don't know if she'll ever be nice to you, sugar. I don't know.
You like she's too old.
Oh my gosh.
But here's the funny thing about any of those shows like The Bachelor or whatever. At our age, we sit back and watch it and go, you have no idea.
No, exactly.
But somehow,
they're 20-something, right?
love and this millennial type age is really so non-existent in the way they think it's going to be.
Yeah, the real stuff.
You know, and especially you're single, Todd, you're single. I'm single. Dating at this stage of life is so different. It is so, well, you date
Well,
all
the
over
innocence
place,
is
but-
gone. Like, we know how people really are, right?
Well, and that's a
Yeah,
good
I liked when I was young and dumb and had no idea what was going on.
And walking into that wall.
Now they just say 3 words and I go,
Yeah.
okay.
Oh,
It was
no,
better when I had
wouldn't.
no idea. Or I say something, I go,
Yeah. Ignorance was bliss.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
No, I'm going to disagree. I am much
Well,
happier
bliss for a
now
moment.
at
Yeah,
knowing
exactly.
more about life.
Yeah.
Than blindly going through with. I mean, these chicks are like, you are going to accept a man who's been smooching all these other women, and you think you're going to be his one and only. You're going to have a fight, and guess where his mind's going to go?
I should have picked the
have
blonde.
chosen Susie.
Or the redhead. I should have gone. Because they don't know names. They just know their hair. Just saying, right? Right? You just think about that redhead was hot.
I'm not normal, so I don't know what's going on.
I wish you were Mike.
But, you know,
you'd be
don't-
jumping right in on this.
Don't you wonder, though, on this show, see, this is what I watch. I watch for the women that just want to win. They don't really want the guy. But they're by damn going to beat out all that competition. Those bitches, they know who they're going to be. And so it is like a racket. They run this little manipulative game, and they schmooze the girls, and, they play this
Yeah.
little number of,
Yeah, there's
so
always
insecure,"
one.
And,
There's,
yeah.
as a matter of fact, the girl that her name started with a B that we talked about last week.
Yes.
She got booted.
Yeah.
She got
But
booted, and it's so funny because her reaction was, this isn't fair. She's a
Right.
victim.
Right.
It's not fair. He didn't choose me. I've had such a great attitude. You know?
Yeah, because she was.
God, I was on TV scared. I was like, dear Jesus, please protect
my
me
God.
from this woman that's in the screen.
Who's the woman that got fired from the Trump campaign? Omarosa. Omarosa, did you see her on Trump's reality show? Oh my God, the competitive woman.
She was a pageant chick.
And she's beautiful. She's a pretty
Well,
lady.
I don't even care about that. I'm just saying there's
But
some
she's
psychos
fierce.
out there.
Like, she is a fierce woman. And I heard when they kind of canned her, she went a little nuts.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't want to piss her off. Just saying. But some women are like that. They are going to win at all costs.
Well, and there's been guys every year
Yeah.
every season and that's the nature of TV. Let's just find some psychotic weirdo
Yep.
and, and let this be the focus. So now that chick is gone and you dang sure know there's going to be another one,
Well, and that's probably good ratings,
And
frankly.
it's so funny how they get possessive over somebody that's not theirs. And clearly he's loving the fact that he's the bachelor and gets to smooch with
got
all
sick
of
of the
these
women.
chicks.
Yeah. Which is
Right?
typical
And then the
reverse.
game is, I wish you were mic'd. You are, but here's the game.
I'm just not living up to it.
Chime in.
I
Come on,
need to have some
Bob.
conflict here. But the problem is I don't have conflict anymore.
Oh,
Really?
that alpha male's got to have a little war going on, do you?
The ego
You should just wear a
dissolved
tight
and went
ski
away.
boot and see
what
what
the
happens.
hell?
I'm telling you, we have a
We
discussion. and see where
let's
we're
do
at.
that right now. What the hell happened to you? Hold on. Pause bachelor talk. What happened to you
Oh.
that you lost that ego? He's having a little breakthrough moment. Hold on.
Hold on, friends, 911. Go ahead.
Emotional 911. What happened?
Well, no, 6 years ago I was ready to jump off a cliff. I was in massive panic attacks. I was dying.
Yeah.
My doctor said you're going to die. He said that because the cortisol level was so high, my heart rate
Wow.
was going all this, and he goes, your internal organs are going to shut down, and he goes, we got to figure this out.
Weren't you on stage, speaking, being confident, and getting off that platform and stage and then having a panic attack?
Yeah, well, what happened is I had an event happen 6 years ago, and I don't know why, but if I was on the stage, it's in the Georgia Dome, 30,000 people, and I'm just fine. I go, I wish I could just stay here because my panic's gone. And then I would walk off the stage into the green room and curl up into the fetal position, and this panic just wouldn't go away. And it got to a place where I went, oh, I know why people kill themselves.
Yep.
It's not to end their life, it's to end the pain.
And the pain.
The
Yeah,
pain
yeah.
was horrible.
Yeah.
So then 6 years later, I saw my doctor a couple months ago, and he was sitting there like this, looking at me. He goes, do you know you're different? I go, what do you mean? He goes, you're so calm. He goes, half my day is dealing with people and anxiety.
Yeah.
We need to talk. I need to see what you're doing that you got. Because I was like the mosquito on cocaine. I had people who told me, Bob, it's really difficult to be around you because
You
one
could
gal,
not sit
okay,
still.
so here we are at dinner. Yeah, okay, does everybody know what they want? Yeah, we don't need dessert. Let's just get going. Okay, I'll go back and get the waitress. Okay, hey, do you know what you're going to get? Do you know what you're going to get already?
Why are you thinking that's me?
No. I was like, I just don't got Gretchen going to handle that one. She ain't gonna
I mean,
be
like-
yeah, she'd be leaving that date
So I
fast.
went to dinner with a couple that I've gone with every single year for 30 years.
Yeah.
After 90 minutes, my friend looks at his wife and says, what's different about Bob? And she said, you made me a nervous wreck going to dinner. We never were there longer than 25 minutes. We were just here for 90 minutes. She goes, are you on drugs?
Wow.
'Cause if
So
you
what
are,
was
these are
the
really
shift?
working.
What happened?
The shift was three things. You know what's really interesting? If you're in crisis, everybody wants to come help you.
Isn't that crazy?
And I only spent $40,000 finding out what didn't work. Literally.
Just call Camille.
I'd be cheaper than
Just
that
watch
1
Shock
hour.
Talk.
while
Well, I
we
didn't
figure
know
it
about
out.
you.
I know, right? Yeah.
So the first one was suppressed memories.
Yep.
Found
Trauma.
those
Trauma.
and got rid of that. In fact, I got a really good one about that, how a suppressed memory can really impact our life.
Yep.
So when I came out of that, I went to my doctor and I said, or the doctor that was helping me, I said, so something's really weird. I don't have to play golf from morning till night and I don't have to go all day. And I was sitting on the plane looking at clouds. I've never looked at clouds. I didn't even really know there were clouds out there. I was always reading a book and playing a game and
Occupying your mind. So you're distracting yourself constantly.
from the pain.
Correct.
And he says, your OCD is gone. I go, that can go away. He goes, what are all your family and friends telling you? So that was part one. Then part two was I had anxiety for 4 years, and I learned all about positivity,
Yeah.
gratitude, happiness, service, motivation. And you know what I discovered one day? I was the most positive, happy, grateful, service-oriented, motivated, anxious person every single
OCD.
day. No, just the anxiety was
Yeah,
there from
yeah,
the
yeah.
panic still.
I get it. Well, you hadn't cleared that trauma.
Well, actually, I learned connection.
Yep.
And he said, I'll teach you connection and everything will take care of itself. One day my brain went quiet and everything got better because I learned how thoughts really work.
Yeah. Well, thoughts are things.
Oh, actually, I found out thoughts are nothing.
Thoughts are nothing, but how you create your future is pretty much what we put our energy into, we make happen. So even your biggest fears will happen.
Should I tell her that I have another theory?
Tell me.
Heck
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've had a few people where it all went away because it did with me. One day he asked me this question. He says, Bob, what's causing you anxiety on a regular basis? And for me, it was a possible relationship. Is it going to work or not work? And he goes, what would you experience right now without that thought or story or movie that's playing in your head?
Yeah.
And the second that I realized, oh, it's not real, bam, my
Poof.
mind went quiet.
Right. But before you know that, thoughts are things to us.
Oh, there's a thought that creates an emotion.
Correct.
But as soon as we see that they're a movie, and if we wake up from the movie and realize they're not real,
Exactly.
we go to calm.
You quit making it mean something. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Bob shared that with me week or so ago, and I thought, oh my gosh, every time that I get stressed and I get anxious about things that haven't happened yet, I think to myself, well, I'm all worried about something that hadn't even happened.
Yeah.
It's a movie of the mind. As
Turn
soon
off
as you
your
wake
damn
up-
phone, girl.
Oh, it's Cade.
Oh, well, take your call with your kid.
Y'all go ahead.
All right.
Okay, so
Okay,
here's what happened with this girl. She had a soccer game coming up on Saturday, and
Yeah.
she's freaking out. She's in high school.
Yeah.
I said, why are you freaking out? She goes, well, I'm afraid I'm going to fall down. I'm afraid the coach is going to yell at me. I'm afraid that he's going to take me out of the game. I said, okay. Have you ever been in a scary movie, watching this scary movie, and then you go, well, wait a second, I don't want to be scared. It's just actors and actresses, and you wake up? I said, you're playing a movie that hasn't happened yet. So what would you, I said, are you playing soccer right now? She goes, what? Are you playing soccer right now? We're here in your living room on Tuesday. Are you playing soccer on Saturday? She goes, well, no. I said, did you fall down on Saturday? She goes, no. Did the coach yell at you on Saturday? She said, no.
Yeah.
I said, so jump back into that movie. How does it feel? Ugh.
Right.
What would you experience right now in this moment if you realized that's not real?
True.
And she started laughing uncontrollably. She goes, I'd be happy.
Yeah.
Then a few minutes later, she started getting angry. I go, whoa, why are you angry? She goes, because my sister too, and she goes, wait a second. That's a thought, and it's not real. And she goes, you're blowing my mind.
Yeah.
So that one little concept with the connection and the suppressed memories, and
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
something completely changed.
Yeah. You got right here, right now.
Yeah.
You really got in the moment, and that's kind of what it takes to really live, truly.
Yeah, because one day I walked outside, the lights came on.
Yeah.
I could see trees and hear the birds.
Yeah.
And I was so wrapped up in my own thoughts and mind that I couldn't see anything going on around me.
Yep. U2 has a song that's called Stuck in a Moment. And I have that song, for a lot of my clients that I play because it really is that something happens, like the trauma you're talking about. I'm not sure what happened when you were a kid. But whatever happened there, you got stuck in that moment. And from that moment on, you haven't been present. So I was abducted at age 5, right? So I was stuck in that moment of being 5. And I called it, I'm in the black and white world. I want to go back to the color world. That was my 5-year-old little brain trying to figure out what the heck happened to me. Because from that, abduction on, and I was just there for the day, it was enough, to make me, though, really stutter and traumatized, and I couldn't, track a thought. I was in complete anxiety. Now, we were farmers. My dad worked at Geneva. We didn't go to therapy. It must be really screwed up. You need a therapist, right? So back in the day, we didn't have money for that either. So, but I had to figure out for myself. I had to discover how to get back in the present time because I was living in that painful trauma. And so once you clear that, though, you are right here, right now. How I did it, I had some help, of course, but I had to get in the mindset of the kidnapper and kind of make him right. I know that sounds crazy, but I had to look and see what he was looking at, what he was saying, and why he would pick me. And when I got, it wasn't really about me. It was about him. He was going through what he's going through, and I happened to be in the right place at the right time, wrong place at the wrong time, whatever you want to call it. And whatever was going on wasn't really about me. It wasn't my fault. So, and without that experience, I have considered him now metaphorically like my first client. Because there's so many clients I sit in front of, and if I wouldn't have had that life experience that gleaned me all that knowledge and awareness, I couldn't be with and hear what I hear on a routine basis with clients. So
The experience I had, I used to raise baby birds all the time.
Oh,
When I was
I've
11
had
years
birds,
old,
yeah.
I've got a picture of me feeding a baby robin when I was 11 years old.
Cute.
I'm a senior in high school. I'm on the football team, and I'm sneaking a baby robin into school every day. You got to feed them every 20 minutes. 6 years ago, when I was in my yuck, my whole life, everyone knows, got a baby bird, take it to Bob. So 6 years ago, I had 25 baby birds in my backyard, and I would pay a kid $100 a day to take care of the birds when I was
Wow.
out of town.
Wow.
Now, is this a little obsessive?
Little.
But I didn't know that.
Oh.
So my daughter said to me last year, Dad, did you notice you don't raise baby birds anymore? And I went, that's right. I haven't raised a baby bird in 4 years. Well, when I was going through that therapy with my doctor 6 years ago, one of
Yeah.
the memories I found was I'm 5 years old, and I had remembered this. I was 5 years old, and I saw a baby robin, and I picked it up, and I'm trying to teach it how to fly, and it's throwing it up, and it's dropping down, teaching it how to fly. And I felt all this rage, and I took the bird, and I threw it at the ground, and I killed it. Well, the little boy couldn't handle that trauma at that moment,
Sure.
so he buried it. Well, the 5-year-old walked away. When I found the memory as a 54-year-old, I sobbed for 4 hours.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then from that day forward, I was feeling it. I felt what that 5-year-old needs to feel.
Yeah.
And somebody said, it hurt when you shoved it down there. It's going to hurt when it came out.
Absolutely.
It hurt really bad.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize I had just healed something. I didn't have to be the savior for birds and people anymore.
Oh, out of that guilt. So was it like guilt because you killed that bird? You were over-saving and overdoing for birds? You didn't consciously know that.
I don't have to know that. I just had to feel it, and it just
and it went away.
disappeared.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
each time,
And then behavior changed.
so each time I feel a yuck, I just sit in the yuck until it goes away. Or
Right.
sometimes I'll see where it came from.
Yep, which is exactly what I have clients do. It's like whatever you're resisting, whatever feeling you're resisting, you have to stop and be with that, or it will own you.
Oh yeah, you could push it away.
Yeah.
I'm going to get busy and do something else. Did you know people are addicted to busy?
Oh yeah, it's
In the
just
state
great
of
distraction.
Utah, I was addicted to busy. Oh, I don't drink, I don't have drugs. Well, no, I was addicted to busy, and I
Yeah.
thought, well, look at me, I'm pretty cool. Look at all the stuff I'm getting done, and I was destroying myself.
Well, and I'll tell you what, the kids that we worry about with suicide are the overachievers. Because they're doing it, and maybe not because it's authentic, but they're doing it to cover up something they're dealing with.
And they don't know that.
They don't know that, no.
Did you know, I mean, maybe you guys know this, I just spoke to a whole bunch of PhDs from all over the United States, and they were all accounting professors, but I said, how many of you know someone right now that's suffering from anxiety? And almost every single person raises their hand.
Yeah, that's probably them.
And oh, you ready for this?
Yeah.
Utah State, I was there 2 months ago speaking, and
Yeah.
he said, Bob, because I teach connection and how to get, our kids aren't even looking at each other anymore. People
Oh, I
aren't.
know.
Let's all, well, the
They're
human,
across the table on phone. Yeah.
so when I was through speaking, the guy said, did you know that that's the biggest crisis going on across the country? I said,
Right.
it's a crisis? And I looked it up, and it is. And then I walked into a junior high school. I've been there 10 years in a row, and I said, hey, do you have anxiety exploding in your school? He goes, oh, yeah. You're putting out fires all day? Oh, yeah. And then I called schools all over the country that I've spoken at, and it's happening everywhere.
Wow.
And so, yeah.
What's your recipe? Like, when you go in there, is it put your gadget down and try to interact with people? Is that what you're doing?
Well, one of the things is understanding that, did you know that Apple and Google, the people that work there have actually said, we did this on purpose? We've got 1,000 engineers trying to get you addicted to those phones. It's,
Right.
it's variable rewards. What's a variable reward? You know when you're scrolling down and you go, I get lost in it? Oh, there's a reward. There's a, you know what our kids do? They're going through crap inside, so they'll text 10 of their friends, hoping one of them will text back,
right. That's right.
and then they get their reward.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
And the people are, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. I go, well, just Google
Oh, yeah.
smartphone
Abuse.
anxiety.
Right.
It's all over the place.
But they're creating a dependency on that gadget to make them feel a certain way.
So
and
that
so
they
you're
can
assigning-
advertise and make money.
Exactly, exactly. But they're assigning the satisfaction in their life to something other than themselves and them generating it. And I do classes on how to connect and how to, like in relationship courses. I've got a soulmate second chance program with couples that they lose the ability to connect with each other over years, and they have the same fight over and over and over. And they, you know, they got a community. They don't want to get divorced, but they've got to reconnect. So I call it soulmate second chance, but it does work.
Yeah.
So what's your recipe for these kids that are going through anxiety? What do you tell them in the schools when you go speak?
Well, one is just the awareness that here's what's going on, you guys, because they've had a guy that was just.
You give them the why. Here's why you feel this way.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got that.
So the guy who wrote the book, he was at this last conference I was at. It's if you're so darn smart, how come you're not happy? And he said one of the things he does with his students at University of Texas, he takes them for 2 days to a remote part of Texas where there's absolutely no internet connection.
I love it.
And he goes, watch this. After a day and a half, he said they all just start feeling better.
Yeah.
So that my daughter, the 18-year-old,
Yeah.
she came to me and she handed me her smartphone. Dad, get me a flip phone. I said, why? She goes, I'm addicted to this thing and it's not making me feel good. So a lot of
What
kids.
is that?
Yeah, I know. She's way ahead of her
Seriously?
time.
Yeah, that's your kid?
I know.
I'm kidding.
The Missionary
That's great.
Training Center, they have dummy phones now.
I know they have these little like wood bricks or something so that these kids they can get off that the dope feeling when they're on their phone. That's like an adrenaline rush.
So I
Yeah.
give them some awareness and I say, you guys, you're probably just like me.
Yeah.
I'm invincible, but some of you have darkness in your head.
Yeah.
And some of you have this anxiety and it's in your stomach. And I had a line of kids come down. First one's this big football player and he's looking down at me and he's got tears in his eyes and he says, I didn't know other people have darkness in their head. And he said, I went to my dad and he says, just buck up.
Yeah.
Now what's the kid going to do? He doesn't know where to go. He's embarrassed.
It's causing more.
And why is addiction exploding? They want to feel good.
That's right.
You want to feel good.
That's right.
It's just so, yeah.
Yeah. See, I always say tell the truth faster. So we all have a truth that we haven't ever told usually. So I say tell it faster and let's get it out of your system. It's like poison coming out of people when they finally just tell the truth of how they really feel and what's going on.
But they don't know it because everybody's got to have the mask on.
Especially in this Instagram and Facebook world where you're constantly selfieing, and I'm guilty of that. I've got selfies out there all the time. My kids look at my phone and go, Mom, how long does this shit take? You know? But to me, I think I'm trying to keep up with the kids, and it doesn't matter. Really doesn't matter. None of that shit really matters. Both my kids are not on social media. They're just not. They don't care.
You know what the guys in Silicon Valley have done?
What?
They've taken their kids out of schools with any electronics, put them in a school with none, and they've
And they're probably
disconnected their
smarter.
internet. Well, their kids they're protecting their kids. They know
Yeah.
what's going on.
Yeah, because it's a mind control. I totally agree. Yeah. So do you have a book?
It's getting
It's
done.
coming out? Okay.
Yeah.
So you've written it, it's kind of getting published? What's happening?
It's in the combing stage, they call it.
Okay.
And it started out as a memory book because I've trained college students all over the United States how to memorize. So it was the maestro of memory. And as I started it, then I was going through all this yuck, and now it's turned into all this stuff. And I'm going, it didn't finish the way we started it. So they're trying to figure out what to do with that.
Interesting. So it's more of a kind of a self-help book, really.
It's kind of like a memoir, but it gives the experiences like that baby bird stories in
yeah.
there, the
Yeah,
connection stories in there,
yeah.
and things like that.
Very good. I want to read it.
Well, I do too.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see how it turns out.
That's awesome. Good for you. Yeah, good for you. So give us your history. Like, where are you at? Where can people find you?
Oh, you can find me right here. This
At
one time.
Talkin.com
Yes.
one time?
I'm trying to get on the show permanently, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Well, wait, why the hell not? We can figure that out.
It's bobkittell.com.
Spell Kittell. Bob.
Kittell, 2 T's, 2 L's, bobkittell.com.
Nice.
And, Instagram. You guys, I got to tell you something.
Tell me.
I was at a school, because I volunteered now. I mean, I get to be on the big
Are you
stages.
retired? You're kind of retired and just have that flexibility now? I'm jealous.
I just go wherever I want to go.
Oh, I love that. I can't wait.
What
to
if
say
life
that.
were a sacred journey living moment to moment to moment?
You know, I wake up every day and go, I have no idea what I've got planned today. It's just like I'm just kind of going with what my life says for me to do. I'm kind of in that world. I really am. And anything's possible around me. Gosh, if I tell you the stories I go through every day, it would blow people's mind. I'm literally pinching myself when I leave my office going, I saw miracles today in people's lives. It was phenomenal yesterday. Anyway, but no, I totally get that.
I can't wait to what was I talking about? I was going to tell him something really cool. Oh, no, I can't remember. I teach memory.
You do?
What the heck was I talking about? Oh, Instagram.
That's
So you
right.
guys, I'm in a school, a junior high school, 3 years ago, and one of the kids goes, "You're nobody." I go, "What do you mean? You're not on Instagram?" Because I didn't care. I didn't have any
Wow.
Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. I spoke at a company, and they go, "You don't have anybody really that you're connected to on LinkedIn." I go, "So what?" So I go, "Okay, well, maybe this is important." So I just started asking my audiences, "Would
Yeah.
you please follow me on Instagram?" I'm not going to follow you back because I don't even look at it because it's not good for you anyway.
Totally.
But if you do this, and now I got about 10,000 people on Instagram.
Following you.
And here's what happened. I walked into that same junior high. There was a couple girls on the front. I said, "Hey, check out my Instagram, Bob Memory." Bob Memory on Instagram. They go, "Wow, that's really good."
You're somebody.
Yeah. And I said, "Well, what if I only had 3 people?" They go, "Well, that's not good because,
You're
well, it's
nobody.
not that. It just means you don't know anybody." I go, "You think I know almost 10,000 people?" Well, and they actually get confused too.
Yeah.
It is amazing that you're worth. Go ahead and apply for a job now. They want to see what your social
They
media is.
do. They want to see your counts.
Yeah, so the guy who's really good at getting a good following could be a lousy speaker,
Yeah.
but it doesn't matter. He's got the following,
That's
and,
it.
and then they get there and go, "Well, we thought you'd be good because you've got a." So our whole world is turned upside down.
It's totally true. And my concern, honestly, is for the future relationships of the world. You know, we're already at a 50% divorce rating for first marriages. It grows a lot higher from there.
70% for second marriages.
Exactly. And then if there's an age gap, it's like 122nd, whatever.
Did you
it's
know the
outrageous.
leading cause
for divorce?
is
Yeah.
marriage?
Really?
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Okay, that's good. Do you want to tell your third joke?
My third. Actually, you want to hear the ones with my daughter?
Tell me your jokes,
You
yeah.
guys, my daughter, she sees her little sister fixing her hair. "Anna, why are you so concerned with how you look? Look at Dad. He doesn't care what people think." So that's one of them.
It's actually really cute. Your kids
She
are
cracks
smart.
me up. Yeah, the 4 of them get together. It's like Comedy Central.
Girls, all girls?
2 girls, 2 boys.
girls. Wow.
Yeah.
Good for you.
This one daughter of mine, she comes in one day, "Dad, you're lucky I decided to be a good girl." I said, You're right, because if you decided to go the other way, there was no stopping you."
Right.
She was a little girl, 5 years old. I don't know how you handle little girls, but I learned with my daughter that, well, I don't even know what I learned. By the time you're experienced, you're unemployed.
You're a father. so
She's
you know
5
you-
years old. She throws a paper on the floor. I go, "Dolly, don't throw that paper on the floor." "I didn't throw paper on the floor." "Dolly, I saw you throw the paper on the floor." "I did not throw a paper on the floor."
Wow.
I said, "Dolly, I saw the paper leave your hand and hit the floor." Well, maybe it fell out of my hand and landed on the floor, but I didn't throw it on the, she didn't change, she's still that way. I just wait till
Wow.
but you know what's really cool?
She an attorney?
No, not yet.
Oh,
She's
not yet.
23 years old,
Yeah.
and she said this to me. She said all the stuff I told her a year ago that she thought I was full of crap,
Right.
and now it's her idea. And she goes, Dad, you know what I learned? And I'm sitting there going, you're brilliant. This is great.
Yeah.
So that's you know, things are moving along when you get there.
Good. See, that's really
Oh,
good.
can I tell you another one?
Yes.
You guys, I'm just
absolutely.
dominating everything. Listen to this. Judgment's a connection killer. Did you know that?
Yes, absolutely.
So my kids are all around the table because I used to be very, we got to do things by the rule. We follow our checklist. And I had no idea what I was doing to my kids. But I was doing the best I could. I thought, but I did spend a lot of time with them. I was only gone 3 days a month.
Totally, yeah, love killer. I get it. Totally get it.
We're all sitting at dinner, and something was said, and they all tense up. And I saw them tense up. I go, guys, what's going on? And one of them said, Dad, we just don't want to disappoint you. So
Wow.
I wrote them all a letter that night, and I said, there's nothing you can do or not do that will ever disappoint me. I don't care if you're in jail or the President of the United States. I am your father. You can't disappoint me.
Wow.
And it deepened all of our relationships.
Nice. Very nice. You know, I think love is complete acceptance. When you completely accept someone as they are without wanting to change them secretly or even verbally, I think that is when people feel love.
There's too many kids that they feel like they have to be perfect, and their parents are driving that.
Yeah. Something's driving that, right? Yeah. Whether it's friends or it's some sort of influence. They want to impress somebody. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. I totally get it. But I do have a concern that we're kind of headed down a road where kids are going to have to do some, communication 101 where they actually start talking to people.
Oh yeah, they don't know how to. They have
No.
classes
Connection.
trying to teach them how to talk.
Yeah. I've got great classes for that. It's so I've already got my own little recipes too. But this is stuff I've been doing for 20 plus years with
that's
people.
awesome.
I know.
When you text someone, I love you. What did you mean by that?
Right.
I mean, you don't know. If you text somebody, it's 7% of the communication. I got a master's of communications. I learned 2 things. I remember both of them.
Right.
And one is you text, those words are 7% of communication. The rest is tonal quality,
Yep.
body language, and
That's right.
Yeah.
And connection.
yeah,
Yeah.
that helps too. Yeah,
See-
when you're playing on your cell phone, we just broke connection. If somebody's talking and you're thinking of what you're going to say next, we just broke connection.
Yeah, you're listening to respond, not listening to listen. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, so I try to teach them how to do that.
That's very good. I've sat and I've been present. It's kind of a drill, I call it. And you sit and be with. And so I have people just like seriously eye contact and just be with no language. Just to see if they can get connected and kind of feel a bond forming between the two people in a relationship, right? It is the most uncomfortable thing, and these people have been married for 30 years. So they just don't sit and look at each other anymore. But in the beginning, that's all you wanted to do was just sit and look at each other, right?
Right.
So, but we lose the ability to be connected to people, whether you're on a gadget or on a TV or something, but you distract yourself. That's because you don't want to be seen. Intimacy is into me, you see. And that's where people, I think, are missing. And relationships, by the way, come back together when you allow intimacy again. And that's when secrets get told and truths get told and, fears and pains get told and insecurities get told, and then life gets a lot easier when they just say it all. Tell the truth faster.
Got another one for you with the connection.
What?
That judgment is a connection killer.
Yeah.
So my son, 29 years old, they said, Thomas, let's go to a movie. He goes, Dad, I can't go to a movie with you. And I said, how come? Dad, when I was a little boy, there was something inappropriate on TV, and you walked in and said, we don't watch stuff like that in this house. He goes, when you walk in the door, my whole body tenses up, and I look over my shoulder, and I'm making sure there's TV. And he goes,
It's got PTSD for me.
I said, Thomas, how come you never told me this before? He said, Dad, the way you judged other people when I was a kid, he goes, I didn't feel safe with you.
I love that, kid. And, great for you to be able to hear that.
Well, he said this. He goes, Dad, I don't know what's going on with you.
You
I just
changed.
feel like you're accepting and there's no judgment. So I had a friend who had a 22-year-old who didn't get into the Army, would not leave the house, would not get a job, was depressed. And she asked me to come talk to him. So the first, show up as your authentic self. You want to see the walls go down? So that
Be
kid,
authentic, exactly
the
right.
kid saw another adult walk into the house, and he just clams right up. And I said, you know what? I had depression. And I told him my story. I just said, yeah, and it was horrible.
Yeah.
Saw the wall drop 2 hours later.
Yeah.
He goes, you're not like my mother's other friends. I go, what do you mean? He said, did you see me test you 5 minutes after you came in? I said, how? I told you I went drinking with my friends. And if you had gone like this, he said, we were done.
Wow.
So I've learned, you know what?
Yeah.
People are people, and that's just the way it is.
That's right.
I mean, my gosh, I went through stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway.
We all did.
Okay.
Don't make it mean anything.
Is this very shocking? I could get more shocking if you want to.
Well, I think this is good stuff. I want to tell people how to find you, and you're always welcome back on our show. But we're going to wrap for today. So tell them how to find you.
Once again, Bob Memory Instagram, and then you can find everything. That's probably the easiest. But if you've got your pen or you want to memorize, Bob, B-O-B, you can spell forward backwards the same way, Bob, Kittell.com. It's my website. You know, my phone number's on there. I actually accept calls. I have found that nobody's above us, nobody's below us.
Yeah.
We're all in this together.
I love that. And you can always find Gretchen and I at shocktalkin.com or Facebook, Shock Talkin' with Gretchen and Camille. Like us, share us, be part of our family. Thanks for listening and watching. We'll see you next time.
Toodles.